Okay, so today we'll do a walkthrough of the carrier network section in the Dispatch One dashboard. This was created to allow dispatchers an easy way to onboard carriers, access their documents, and view the carrier network as it grows and scales over time. So to onboard a carrier, it's super simple. We click this button that says Add New Carrier. Once you do so, you'll be presented with three options. You can invite a carrier with a default contract, invite with a custom contract, or you can add a carrier manually. For this example, we'll be inviting or sending an invitation with our standard default contract and terms. We simply put the carrier's email here and we hit invite with default contract. At that point, the invitation has been sent out and the carrier will receive the invitation, and we'll walk through the carrier onboarding experience now. Okay, so this is the carrier onboarding experience. As you can see here, the carrier just received an invitation from eDispatch Corp to get signed up. So the carrier would simply click the Get Started button. And from here, the carrier will be prompted to enter in their company information. And they can select their role or title. They can select their tax classification and their EIN. Now the carrier will be prompted to upload their documents. We've made it mandatory for them to upload their operating authority, W-9, as well as a certificate of insurance. The carrier will then be asked if they use a factoring company. They can simply select yes. If they select yes, then they can choose from our database of factoring companies and continue. Then the carrier will be prompted to enter in their equipment information. So let's say this carrier specifically has a flatbed, truck number is 123, trailer number is 321, and this driver seems to have a TWIC and a hazmat endorsement. They can then enter the driver's information. And continue. Then we ask them, do they drive over the road? If they select yes, they continue. And we've made it very user-friendly. All they have to do is select the regions that they drive in. At that point, they're pretty much done with the sign up. If they want to preview their agreement, they can click here and view agreement. It will then show the carrier agreement with all of the terms. The agreement will be pre-populated with all of the provisions, including the percentage charge, the services offered, billing schedule, billing methods, non-solicitation, non-circumvention clauses are also added, and it will have the carrier's information and date, as well as both the dispatcher and carrier's information, date, and signature. They can close the preview. All they have to do is hit I have read and agree to the carrier agreement and hit continue. Okay, so now the carrier is all set up. Okay, so now that our carrier has completed the setup, we'll come back here, close this, and we simply refresh our page. Once we refresh, we'll see the new carrier that has been added to the system here. So here we'll view the carrier company name, their address, email, tax classification, federal ID, MC, DOT number, as well as truck type and the regions that they drive. We'll see the owner here, and the driver's information and phone number here, their factoring company information here, as well as their documents. If we need to access their documents, we can simply click here and it'll open right up in a new tab. So that's their COI, their W-9. This would be a copy of their operating authority that they upload. And then if you ever need to access the carrier agreement with this specific carrier, then you simply click contract here. And this will have the carrier agreement. It will have your company's name, your company logo, your company's phone number, and company contact information. The percentage that's charged, your billing rate, the services that are offered, all of the clauses, all of the carrier information here, as well as the equipment type. You see this carrier has one flatbed, and these are the regions that they run, and they would like for you to find loads in. And then this is the this is the dispatcher's information signature, carrier information and signature. So everything is done automatically for you. Now, if we would like to edit this carrier's profile for any reason, we can simply click here, come to edit. And let's say, for example, we wanted to add, this carrier has a logo and we wanted to add a logo here. We could come here and we can upload a copy of the logo. If we wanted to edit any of the driver's information, let's say we wanted to add a photo for the driver to make it easy for you to identify, you can come here. Okay, so here we've added an image of our drivers. We've also added a provision that when loads are dispatched, do you want the driver to receive a rate confirmation? If you want them to receive a copy, then this will be selected by default, and we can hit update. And then we hit save. So now the carrier information has been updated. You can come back to carriers. If we select speed transport, now to view status of pending invites, every time you send an invite, it will show here as pending. Once the carrier views the invite, it will show viewed. If they have not viewed the invite yet, then it will only show requested. If we come up here to the network tab, this will show our carrier network. So this shows the total number of carriers, the amount of new carriers, as well as the total number of trucks and the amount of new trucks. It shows your network growth over time for both carriers and trucks, as well as the network composition. It's color-coded by truck type, so it allows you to easily distinguish, how many of what type of trucks you have that make up your network. And then we also have a chart that breaks down here on the side. And then there's also a map, which allows you to geographically identify where you have carrier home bases. And if you want to click, let's say if a broker reaches out and says, hey, we have some lanes in California, do you have any carriers available? I can look here and see that I have several carriers over here in California. And if I need to just click the information, I click the carrier and it will open up all of the information associated with this particular carrier. So that's pretty much the carrier network section of the Dispatch One dashboard. As mentioned, this is focused on making it easier for dispatchers to onboard carriers, access their documents, and track their network growth over time.